Hello everyone, welcome back to the Phone Museum. Today, we are going to compare between Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra camera versus Samsung Galaxy camera from back in 2012. In 11 years, this one has like variable zoom lens, and this one has total 4 different lenses to take up different angles, from wide angle to all the way to the 10 times optical zoom, and also it can go up to 100 times as a digital zoom. This one does not support any digital zoom, but let's try. Before we go in detail, I just wanted to show the basic default setting. So all the photo I took was just using the photo mode, and I turned the scene optimizer, and then using camera assistant to auto HDR on and picture softening as a medium, and I using the auto lens switching and adaptive pixel and capture speed as the quality, and that is the basic setting from Galaxy S23 Ultra. I will go do the little review of Galaxy camera in the future video. In the Galaxy camera, I didn't use any detail setting. The camera, I just using the maximum 16 megapixel, and the camera setting, I think that's about it. The general, just the sound, beeps, those are general stuff, so that's all the camera. And shooting mode, I use the HDR, the rich tone mode, since this one turn on the HDR feature, but I also saving the HDR picture with the regular picture as well, so we will compare that as well. And I tried to using the this one about 0.6 times wide angle, and 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 5 times, 10 times, and 21 times, 30 times, 50 times, and 100 times zoom. And this one does not support any digital zoom. This one only supports the optical zoom. So I capture 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, and 21 times. So we can do a little comparison. And also, when using the Galaxy S23 Ultra, you can see sometimes it's hard to make exactly 5 times. So when I say 5 times, it's around 4.8 to 5.2, similar to the 20 times. I try make as same as this one, 21 times, but it's not always easy to do it. So when I say 20 times, it's around 20 to 21.5, something around there. Same for the 50 times. It's between like 48 to 52 in somewhere. I don't think it make a big difference. Anyways, so let's compare the pictures. Alright, so first picture is from the little trail, and both are HDR mode, and I can see that S23 Ultra have a way more detail. It's about the lips are more crisp and stuff compared to a Galaxy camera. Colors are, the Galaxy camera is more greenish color, and S23 Ultra is more yellow tint, but I think both are pretty good. And let's go to the 2 times zoom. Since S23 Ultra, this one is using the digital zoom from the main camera, and this one is optical zoom. And also this one have like the colors are the same. There is green and this is more yellowish, but I think its quality is not big difference. Now is 3 times zoom. This one is S23 Ultra has, this one is a bright light, so it actually captures with the 3 times zoom camera. So both are optical 3 times zoom. And now it's 5 times zoom. And 5 times it use 3 times zoom with the digital zoom, and this were actual optical zoom. And when I see in the detail, I can see when you zoom in a little bit in the tree, I think Galaxy camera capture a more clear picture and more bright picture. So in here you can tell the difference, since the 3 times zoom camera is not the best quality camera compared to the main camera. It's still good camera. It's combination of main 200 megapixel camera with 3 times zoom camera, and it's just mapping out the AI mapping out the details. But still, compared to the dedicated 5 times zoom camera, I can see there's a little bit of difference. Then let's go to the 10 times zoom camera. So in 10 times, Galaxy S23 Ultra is actually using the 10 times zoom camera. So both are optical zoom camera, and their looks pretty similar. Just colors are, as I said before, the Galaxy camera take more greenish color and Galaxy S20 Ultra take more yellowish color. I prefer Galaxy S23 Ultra's color since it's more realistic, but it depends on the preference, I guess. And next is 21 times zoom. This time also Galaxy S23 Ultra taking a 10 times zoom camera, and you can see that S23 Ultra feels like it's kind of little over sharpened since it's using the digital zoom and it tried to make it more visible, so I think it's a little bit over sharpened. But compared to Galaxy camera, is more natural looking feeling. So you can see there's optical zoom is better for, of course. And then 30 times zoom and 50 times and 100 times zoom is available in Galaxy S23 Ultra, but Galaxy camera you cannot zoom in all the way to 30 times or 100 times. So yeah. And next go to the regular different scenery. So right now is I make a little mistake. S23 Ultra taking picture with the portrait mode, and Galaxy camera taking picture in landscape mode. So that was my bad. Its ratio is different each other, but the overall picture quality, I don't think it's gonna make difference. And when you look at the picture quality, the ultra wide angle camera, I don't think a lot of the curving stuff because of the ultra wide lens, but Galaxy camera, even in the one time zoom, I can see it's kind of little angled on the tree. And this one HDR is turned on, and this camera doesn't have an optical image stabilization, so I can see on the top the leaves are little shaped. Since it's on my hand and take a picture, that's one of the reasons. In the colors, the HDR quality is Galaxy S23 Ultra is way better. And let's go to the 2 times zoom. In this one, the leaves are more green on the Galaxy S23 Ultra compared to this one. And the trees are more detailed. And 3 times zoom, same. 5 times zoom, and this time the leaves are both HDR is pretty good between Galaxy camera and S23 Ultra. And this is 10 times, 20 times. In 20 times, I think the Galaxy camera have a more detail of the leaves. Actually, I can see the lines. That's pretty cool. And 30 times, 50 times, and 100 times on Galaxy S23 Ultra. And the flower. the flower, these roses, is really hard to produce by the digital camera. Color's a little different compared to the real color, but S23 Ultra have a similar color compared to the Galaxy camera. And as you can see, it have a more bokeh effect on the S23 Ultra. I didn't use any portrait mode. It just being like that because of the lens f1.8 aperture. And this one is, we're comparing with the regular picture, but when you go to the HDR mode, it tried to oversaturate the flower, and the flower is kind of way too bright. So this one is cannot say as a good picture. And when you see the ultra wide lens of Galaxy S23 Ultra, since it's ultra wide, so you don't see any of those bokeh effect anymore. And good thing about the zoom lens is you can zoom in to like more different bokeh effect. So that's one good thing of S23 Ultra or Galaxy camera. They both have an optical zoom. Now let's go to the next scenery. So at S23 Ultra, again, start with the ultra wide lens. It's pretty good quality. And one-time zoom, I think they're both pretty good, but I can say they're both pros and cons. One thing in Galaxy, I can notice Galaxy camera, again, leaves and trees, they try to more saturated, so it's kind of too much green. But for the sky, I think at that time we have some air pollution, so I think Galaxy cameras, the sky is more accurate than S23 Ultra. One thing I can see that from the tree of Galaxy camera, that there's a little bit bright, a little over HDR thing going on the tree. Let's go to a 2x zoom. 2x zoom, I think they're both reasonable. I think they're pretty good picture. 3x, okay. This time I feel like S23 Ultra have a little over sharpened at the trees and leaves. 5x, I think S23 Ultra is a brighter picture, so I prefer S23 Ultra for this one. 10x zoom, again S23 Ultra have a brighter picture. 21x, I should put the same angle, but it wasn't. That's one problem of taking picture by hand. And you can see they're even both 21 times zoom. Galaxy S23 Ultra is a little bit softer, but it's less noisier. So when you zoom in, I think S23 Ultra is better than a Galaxy camera, even though it's a digital zoom, 21 times, and 30 times, 50 times, and 100 times for the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And this is 50 megapixel, 1x zoom, 2x zoom, 3x zoom, 5x zoom, and 6x zoom, respectively. And you can see the detail. The little logo is more clear in 200 megapixel compared to 50 megapixel. And let's go to the next scenery. This one is under the sunset. So when you check with the S23 Ultra wide angle, you can see pretty good picture. And let's go to the 1x zoom. And I think S23 Ultra is more colorful, more saturated color. So I prefer this kind of color. But if you want a more natural color, then you might like Galaxy camera picture quality than S23 Ultra. Let's go to the 2x zoom, 3x zoom. In 3x zoom, I think the wood on the side, you can see the structure. S23 Ultra is more clear compared to a Galaxy camera. 5x. In 5x, I think Galaxy S23 Ultra, I think it's a little bit over sharpened on the trees. 10x. 21 times. In 21 times, I think the Galaxy S23 Ultra have a much clearer picture compared to the Galaxy camera. I think it's AI is automatically detect the little fogginess and just remove those kind of stuff. I'm not sure, but it looks way clear. Look at the house and the car. When you zoom in, it looks a little bit more kind of AI drawing, painting kind of stuff. Compared to the Galaxy camera, it's more realistic. But when you zoom out, this one looks way cleaner. And 30 times, 50 times, and 100 times respectively. And this is the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I tried to take a picture with the sun since it's foggy, so I thought maybe I could capture a good sun. Maybe the black dot is maybe the sunspot, but not sure. But yeah, this is the taking picture of the sun at the foggy weather. Let's go to the different scenery. This is the ultra wide camera from Galaxy S23 Ultra. I think I shouldn't take a ultra wide picture anymore since Galaxy camera doesn't have that feature. And one time zoom, I think again Galaxy S23 Ultra, I prefer this color and stuff, but maybe some person they more prefer the natural color. 2 times, okay, 3 times, 5 times zoom, 10 times zoom. Since I cannot take picture exactly same time, that's why the sunset and sun's position is a little bit different. I wish it's exactly same, that would be awesome. But yeah, it's just a basic comparison. So, and this is 21 times. And I can see the bridge is a little bit clear on Galaxy S23 Ultra compared to S20, the Galaxy camera. Even you zoom in, I think it's pretty foggy and stuff. So S23 Galaxy camera's optical zoom wasn't handled that good, but S23 Ultra I think is much nicer picture. And 30 times, 50 times, and 100 times respectively. And now we are going to the low light shot. So low light shot from S23 Ultra. This time I skipped the ultra wide picture. One time zoom, and you can see I prefer S23 Ultra, even though with the HDR, since the Galaxy camera is camera and this HDR is pretty good in the low light picture. Even they have a night mode, but I prefer using HDR mode for the night shot. And because of the problem, when you zoom in, you can see the light, the flare is kind of little big compared to the S23 Ultra, but on the left side, it's way brighter than on S23 Ultra. But I like the sky at the S23 Ultra, and I think it's more realistic. And this is 2 times zoom, and I can see S23 Ultra, on the left side is kind of very noisy compared to the Galaxy camera. That's what I noticed right now. 3 times. Okay. S23 Ultra try to make it bright, but it lost quite a detail. It's kind of little noisy down there. And then let's zoom in. Again, S23 Ultra is way brighter picture compared to the Galaxy camera, but it lost a lot of detail. It's way noisier than a Galaxy camera. Same for this one, and this the 21 times, and this one S23 Ultra take a good focus, but this one Galaxy camera is missed the focus, you can see. And there's another low light shot. So one time zoom, S23 Ultra is pretty bright and clear compared to Galaxy camera. Is kind of even with the HDR, it's kind of little dark. And this one is auto mode from Galaxy S23 Ultra. I didn't put on night mode. 2 times zoom, same, 3 times zoom. Now S23 Ultra is way clearer than the Galaxy camera. 5 times, 10 times, and 21 times. And in 21 times, you can see both are very dark because in auto mode, up to 20 times is scene optimizer turn on the kind of night mode. That's why it make a brighter picture, but over the 20 times, it doesn't have those, scene optimizer cannot turn on the night mode automatically. That's why it's really dark. And let's go to the next scene. 1 time zoom. I thought Galaxy camera with the HDR night mode was pretty good, but when I compare with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, it looks so bad. I really like the HDR feature of Galaxy camera or like 5-6 years ago, but now it's just too bad. Same for the 2 times zoom. I think it's like at night shot, I think the comparison is kind of pointless. It's S23 Ultra is just like better picture for, and same for the S23 Ultra, 50 megapixel, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 5 time, 6 times, and different scenery. This time it have a little light from the inside of the building, so it's not as low light as before. So let's see. 2 times, I can see the water fountain. The S23 Ultra have a way clear picture and brighter picture, and you can see the difference in the tree. 3 times, yeah, S23 Ultra have a more detail. 5 times, 10 times, and 21 times. Yeah, so that was a comparison between the daylight and nighttime Galaxy camera versus Galaxy S23 Ultra. For the most of the zoom level, I think Galaxy camera take a better picture, but low light S23 Ultra, the AI algorithm make much better, and dedicate zoom lens like 3 times, 10 times. At that level, I think most of the time S23 Ultra have a better picture quality than Galaxy camera. So digital zoom still cannot beat the optical zoom from 10 years ago. Hopefully in S24 Ultra they put some variable zoom lens like a Sony Xperia 1 series. And hopefully this was enjoyable, and see you in the next video.